A new season of Valorant has begun, and with this particular season, we are getting a new agent called Gecko. Now, for those who don't know, Gecko is the newest initiator into the game, and quite frankly, he is also one of the most unique characters in the game. As a matter of fact, personally speaking, I'm not a fan of the aesthetics of this character. I think his utility and the way the aesthetics of his utility look are way out of place, even for this game. It just feels off compared to everybody else. I don't know what it is. It's just, in my opinion, I'm not a fan. But let's be real here. The aesthetics of the character isn't what really matters. What matters is, how does this character play? Is this character strong? Well, I already said that he's an initiator. He has 3 different pieces of utility, all of which are single-use utility. And not only are they single-use, but you have the ability to pick them up after you deployed them. The only kicker is, unlike characters like Cypher and Killjoy, where they pick their utility up really, really quickly, he picks his utility up much in the same way you pick up an ult orb. And in doing so, it's about a 2-second delay when he picks it up, and he is wide open when he's picking it up. So as the Gecko player, you have to be mindful of when you pick up his utility. That being said, the key cog to Gecko's kit is his Wingman. His Wingman ability is literally insane, and it is the most outrageous thing in the game currently. Essentially, Wingman is a little buddy that not only can Wingman stun enemies that he sees, but you can use him to plant or defuse the spike. This is huge because what this allows you to do is this allows you to plant the spike and do something else, or defuse the spike and do something else. It's really kind of like having a 6th character on your team that does something very basic, but it's very, very effective. The key to note here, though, is that when it comes to that piece of utility, you have to be mindful of when you're playing against him, that chances are that if you're playing against the Gecko and you're defending, he's going to be carrying the spike, because that piece of utility is so important and so powerful. That being said, the rest of his kit, he has a molly and he has a flash. Neither the molly or the flash are as good as the Wingman, but they have their usage. His ultimate is kind of like a hybrid of a Sky Dog, with, instead of stunning the enemy that the dog hits, he actually detains the enemy much in the same way Killjoy detains you with her ult. So that's basically the outline of his kit. His kit, in terms of whether or not he's good or not, well, that really depends on how you look at things. In my experience playing with him, as him, and against him, if you're an average player, he's a pretty good character. Not the best, not the worst, but he's pretty good. Where I think he's going to shine and where I think he's going to be overpowered is in the high level of play. Where the high level play, these guys, where they have great compositions, they have great synergy with one another, great coordination. When you have teams like that, with the ability of Wingman that can just defuse and or plant the spike, I mean, the outplays and the plays that you can make are insane. And I think at the highest level of play, he may be a problem in his current state. But for average players, it won't be as much, because yes, Wingman is very powerful, but the rest of his kit is not as good as some of the other initiators that are currently in the game. Obviously, this being a new season, this also means you get a Battle Pass. Battle Pass, very standard stuff. Cosmetics, in-game currency. You know, if you've been playing Valorant for a while, this is standard stuff. If you've been playing shooters for a while, this is standard stuff. Nothing really special here. There is no new map for this season, so what you see is what you get. Gecko is the star of the season, and like I said, depending on where you are in terms of your skill, depends on how strong Gecko's going to be. But overall, he's a good addition to the game, and we look forward to seeing more from Riot. The other thing I want to touch on really quickly that Riot has announced, it's not in the update currently, but it is coming, and that is their Premier Tournament mode. Essentially, if you want a path to pro, this is the way to do it. It's actually a tournament that will be coming to the game in game. You'll be able to squad up with a 5-stack, play through tournaments. The tournaments are throughout the duration of every season, and essentially, if you can reach the highest ranks of the tournament, you will be putting yourself on the radar for possible recruitment for pro play. This is the first time that I've seen this where a game actually has a direct path to pro within the game itself. So look for Valorant Premiere to come sometime. They didn't announce when, but it is coming. So if you are an aspiring pro player and you want to play professionally in Valorant, there is something in the works coming within the game in the not too distant future. But aside from this is another great update from Riot. This game is thriving, one of the best FPS games on the market. If you don't play it, I highly recommend you try it. It is only on PC currently, so be mindful of that. This is Veteran Gamer, and I hope to see you guys next time.